Hello, TCI family, Jonathan's Refuge. Before I jump into the message, all of our faithful followers and friends, I just want to show you little Nala. She's overheating, so I'm going to get her out of this room. But say hi, Nala. Nala is our therapy dog, and she is about 5 months old. She's the last time I weighed her, she was 47, so she's probably just over 50 pounds, and she's going to be a big girl. She is our second therapy dog. They are white German shepherds. They come from a purebred line, and these dogs are super brilliant and smart. And she is a cuddle bug. Go get your love, George loves. Come on, baby, let's go. Come on, let's go see the boys. Let's go see the boys. Hey guys, call Nala. Sorry about that. So we're bouncing between a place where we have a studio set up and it's at the new headquarters. Unfortunately, the headquarters is completely under construction. So one of our rooms here, in one of the guest rooms, the many rooms on this property, I'm just using it to sneak away. They just finished it. Beautiful. These are gorgeous fir wood, solid fir doors, and then they stain them and clear stain, and it pops. Crown moldings just been put in, all the sheetrock, all smooth. Gorgeous flooring down there, all put in brand new. Yeah, it's just epic. Beautiful place, and it's coming together. Next 12 months is going to be nothing but construction for the next 12. But after that, we'll have a beautiful facility, and we can't wait to have everyone come down. Let's jump into the message. Tonight's a interesting topic, and it's a hot one, okay? Now, listen to me when I tell you this. You're going to get offended tonight. You're going to get upset. You might even be mad at me. And if you are, then I did my job. um, so you guys know the drill. I don't preach it unless I'm going through it. So if it's something I'm either going through or I've already gone through, that's when I share things. I don't share it when I'm like just trying to figure it all out. That's not how it works. You got to figure it all out and then you share the path that you found and maybe it'll help someone else. So, what we're going to talk about is patterns can be broken. And one of the patterns that we find, and again, for those that don't know, I founded and operate the largest private mental health practice in Snohomish County, Washington. I also am the third largest in the entire state of Washington. Side of things, I am not only an expert, I'm probably the most expert in this authority in talking about transformation because this is what I do day in and day out with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clients. Okay. And I work with some of the sickest, twisted people that the world says people that are sex offenders, rapists, child molesters, murderers, drug dealers, dope fiends, crackheads, uh, people of beating their children, beating elderly. I mean, just the worst. The ones that everyone's just, what do you do with them? Put a gun to their head, pull the trigger. Well, you can't do that. It's America. So they go do their time and then we just throw them out and no one wants to see them. Well, if you don't do anything, they're going to come back to haunt you. Okay. So they're going to come back and hurt you, your family, your children. And we did nothing to stop that. So I wanted to break the cycle. And here's what I've learned. Tony Robbins is a good friend. Tony has spent his my whole since I was in my 20s. I've been 30 years now. I've been following this man. Was part of what they call the volunteer employment team when they used to do the fire walks. We'd go down there and help do all that stuff and make sure people got into the right spot. And then, of course, you were able to by working pay your fee to get into the seminars and all these things. And so Tony and me go back a ways. We're not buds. We don't go on vacations together. But he sent me a message. And as you all know, if you looked at my year as a whole, here's how it started off. I started off my year in 2025 with an attempted coup against my company. So I had someone from within my firm who was a high ranking board member. And they decided to take board members aside at the board meeting and try to convince them to join that person's side. And they all said, not a chance. And the board had a unanimous vote that they backed their chairman and president and founder. Now, I built the company so that I could be removed if my board sees so fit. And I'm not a dictator. Like a lot of guys, if you go to a pastor of a church, they actually own the church. It's theirs. They have a committee board, but there's no one that can ever remove them. It's theirs. I, I don't like that. Okay. And I'm not afraid of people because I know I'm in the right. If you're in the right, you don't have anything to be afraid of. If you're in the wrong, then yeah, you probably should control your company because you're going to have it taken away. And it didn't go away, but I had a hostile takeover attempt. It was horrible. And then that led to the demise of my marriage. And not just that, many other things. So then I went through a divorce. I was married for 4 years and I went through a divorce. And that was horrifying. And and then that finally kind of settled down and things. And then somebody decided to take my father, my adopted dad who just died. They brought an old man who is an old man in nonage. It's an old term, but what it means is, I mean, my dad couldn't even make decisions to get to the hospital 4 years ago. And I ended up having to fly to Maine with the same person that did this and take charge and be like, no, you're going to the hospital. Here's what we're doing. And I'm picking you up and throwing you in the car tomorrow. And we're going to go fix this. And then, we did. And my father was someone that I cherished and adored, and he was always there for me. And I for him. I flew him all over this globe. I paid for all of his trips to New Zealand. I paid for all of his vacations when he came out here. I took care of his, gave him, I won't say how much, but I gave him a monthly stipend to pay for bills because he had no family looking out after him financially. And he was a poor minister, so he had no money. Paid for his cell phone bills and things like that, and got him his cell phones and took him shopping when he needed things and that sort of stuff. But this person got him involved and wrapped into their little coup thing and whatever you want to call it. And they put a rock between me and my father for almost 3.5 months. And it took some outsiders to see it and talk to him. And then he ended up calling and reaching out, and uh, things were back to normal with us. And it happened only a couple weeks before the end. It was only a couple weeks before the end. And he was just planning a trip out to see me, actually, because I was coming out that week. And he says, no, 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 stay. Listen, you got a lot you're doing, and I want you to stay focused. So I'll come out to you, and why don't we plan tickets on Friday? And then that was the week when he passed on. Um, if you know me, my dad was my rock. My mom was the foundation, but he was the rock, the anchor. And so I felt adrift and I lost my father a few weeks back, and that was pretty bad. Now, on top of that, I can continue. We had other things that have happened, a mindful amount of things. We bought this property, and we got a neighbor who wants to try to put a squash on everything we do because they don't think we should be helping people who are registered sex offenders, drug dealers, criminals. They don't like that I help these people become six-figure income earners. They don't like it, which is funny because by doing what we used to do, just stick them in these men's homes with 30, 40 guys. Here's what you do. You deserve what you get when they come and rape and pillage your house. I'm sorry to tell you, you deserve it. Because it's not your job to rehabilitate them, but when you shove them down and step on them and keep stepping on them, make no mistake, you're asking for what you get. Okay. Now, I chose to break this habit. And so we've done that at Jonathan's Refuge. We have a 0% recidivism rate. That means no one goes back to prison that's in the program ever. We've not lost one in 5 years. I'm the only company in the world that can have that stat posted because I'm the only one that's done it. And it's because I have the answers to the solution and to the questions and the problems on how to fix the prison system. And right now, we're just starting to get the world to see it and go, this guy, Jonathan, we need to get with him and figure this out. Well, I'm going to tell you one of the ways we do it. And this is something that I've been going through because if I told you everything I just said and I go through all of that, and I haven't even shared I've only shared about a third of the major crisis that happened. I had to fire an executive director of my company and a VP of my firm because I can't tell you what they did, but they did some very bad things. And the second I caught wind, boom, out. Nice talking to you. You're gone. And it's just one more crisis, one more fire. One of my best friend's dad died not too long back, months ago, and it just was like, when does it stop? And all these triggers. And my friend Tony heard me say that, and he's like, "Did you just say triggers?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "No one triggers you." Now he taught a lesson. There's a great lesson. Go YouTube channel, Tony Robbins. Don't allow yourself to trigger yourself because no one triggers you. Type that in. It's going to pull up this beautiful video and you're going to see his version. What I'm giving you is my version of what I've lived through and how it works. First off, tip number one, no one triggers you. No one. And you say, oh, BS. Listen, I had a person in my life that when I saw that person for the first year, I actually ended up peeing my pants. I was 7 years old. And the elder of my dad's church just grabbed me one day and just beat this side of my whole face until it was shattered. Every rib on this side was broken, but one on the bottom. And I won't go to the whole thing. You've all heard the story 1,000 times probably. But I saw him the next time and I peed my pants. I was a little boy. I was scared. I was scared. I needed a refuge. I needed someone to help protect me. And it didn't happen. And so he triggered me. That's what I said. He triggered me. I'm sorry. I peed my pants. And they'd be like, it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. We understand. And my parents would, we'd go get fixed up. So I said, people triggered me. And then my ex-wife in this whole divorce would send emails. And I'm like, whoa, look at that email. Are you kidding me? First off, and it drives me nuts when people say this. Okay. People all the time will say, like, if someone says, you need to follow what the contract said, or else this is what happens. Then they say, you're threatening me. Hey, world, grow up. That's not a threat. That's telling you the facts. See, when a cop pulls you over and says, if you run that stoplight, I'll ticket you. You can't say, you're threatening me. No, he's just telling you he's going to cut you a ticket if you break the law. He's telling you a fact. So when I was reminding someone they had a contract and these are the facts, and here's the penalty of those facts, you're threatening me. My board used to laugh at it. They'd be like, wow, maybe we should pay for this person to go to college and learn what that means. Because there's no threats. It's just telling the facts. Do this, you lose your funding. Do this, you lose that. Do this, that goes away. It's in your contract. You signed it. Okay. Now listen to me. That was triggering me, supposedly. Supposedly. That's when my friend showed me something. He goes, man, you're missing it. And I did. I was, because I've been so focused on other parts of my success and my growth that I've neglected other parts. And that's okay, guys. That's what mentors are for. I don't need to see everything. I got people overseeing and watching me, mentors who say, JB, check out what you just said. Let's rewind your video. Oh, I am missing something. And I realized, oh my God, only you trigger yourself, folks. There's no one to blame but me. Most of you know I went through a very tough year. But was it? See, that's how some people see it. I've had friends to this week walk up and say, "Man, this has been your worst year ever." I lost my first child's mom, and she was one of my best friends since I was 15 years old. And we shared time and a baby, and we lost our child a couple decades after we had him, and it was very painful this year. So see, I can keep going. This year just seems like it's just boom, boom. But was it? No, it wasn't a bad year. Start off with finances and companies and things like that. I made 750 the year before, and in 8 weeks later, I made the company double itself. We're at 1.6 mil. Pretty good year. Doubled it in 8 weeks. Didn't have to do it too much to do it. Not bad. Good year, right? Yeah. My dad passed, but my father was in so much pain. You have no clue the pain he was suffering. He literally just went home to sell the church, the physical stuff and everything, and sell it because I was going to pay for him to head out to New Zealand. And part of the finances, I was going to take care of this whole thing. And he wanted to go live there and travel back and forth between New Zealand, Washington, and Maine and kind of spend as much time in each region as he could and divide up his year a third and a third and a third and spend 4 months in each location. And I was all excited for him because that was what he really was looking forward to. But the pain level was so bad. And in the end, he just wanted to be with his wife, my mama. And you know what? My dad's there now and he's at peace. And you know something? That's a good thing. And I'll see him again. So again, something that was meant for bad is not. And then you keep looking at it. And I had to get rid of a person in our company that was a pretty high up, but then we got a new person that replaced them and is doing 10 times better. And things are growing so fast. And God is blessing because we're doing the right thing. See, when you're in the right, you go, man, because you just keep going. When you're in the wrong, slow it down and question everything you're doing because you're going to find you're going to fall apart. But when you're in the right, you'll see it. Everything just flows and flows and flows. And so it's been actually one of the greatest years of my life. And I am so thankful. We got this beautiful new headquarters we're building, an 8,000 square foot, beautiful facility. We're putting in a massive, two pools, an infinity pool enclosed, and then an outdoor pool and multiple jacuzzis throughout the property. And it's just an epic place that we're putting together. 4 houses on another section to house 40 men coming in and out of prison. But we only put 2 men in a room. We don't pack them in. And the rooms are going to be, this room I'm in right now is too small for our men. We actually have rooms that are about twice this size. And that's what the men will be living in. So we provide them a beautiful place, a safe place, and then a program. But what we don't do is we let them know you're the one in charge. Nobody triggers you. Oh, well, my mom calls me, I get sick to my stomach. You allow yourself to get sick to your stomach because your brain is programmed, because you stack it. Here's what you do. You wake up in the morning and you tell everybody what went wrong yesterday. The first thing you do when you get to work, every one of you do it. Almost all the people I know do this. Oh, you don't know what Bob did last night. Bob was a jerk. He was supposed to have dinner made, my husband, Bob. And what did he do? He forgot, went to his buddy's place and they had a couple beers. And Bob's just a horrible man. And then, and then on top of that, my kids are horrible kids. And then they bitch about the kids. And then, oh, yeah, yesterday before I left work, my boss did this. And they keep stacking negative upon negative upon negative upon negative upon negative. And what are you going to do? You're going to be sick in your stomach. You're going to have intestinal issues. You're going to have irritable bowel syndrome. I had a client that once I got their stress to dissipate by no longer realizing that no one triggered them except them, irritable bowel syndrome that they had, IBS, for I think it was almost 25 years. The doctor asked, what miracle drugs did they take? Where did they go? Because it's gone. They have no irritable bowel syndrome, IBS. Gone. How's that possible? You're suffering physically. A lot of my physical suffering was because of the stress that I allowed to live in me. That stress releases chemicals, which then give you high blood pressures, which give you irritable bowel syndrome, which gives you headaches, which gives you so much inflammation, which is the thing that almost kills everybody. But you're the one in charge. I'm confused. No, my mom triggered me because she did something bad to me. Let me take your excuse away from you. Okay. For those that don't know, do know the story, you know it. Those that don't, I was viciously raped once in prison. Viciously. I had just had a stroke that I had come out of. I was in a wheelchair. I'm sitting in a jail cell and I was viciously, brutally raped as a guy who was one of the head leaders of an underworld family and was notorious around the world internationally as the Irish Beast, who had no problem just blinking and people like drop dead because they were so terrified of me. I had done so much evil in this world. That guy had just been brutally raped. I was devastated. I didn't know how to deal with it. I was so confused. The next day when they took me to the hospital for the rape kit and all, oh my God, I'm going into a hospital where I raised the money. I actually dedicated the hospital building as the chaplain for the Freemasons. I raised, I think, just over, I think it was $600,000 that we raised for the hospital wing expansion, which doesn't seem like much, but in a small little town, that's a ton. And I got to go in here and they're all going to know. Everyone's going to know, JB, man, did you hear that he was raped? The whole county knew before anybody in my family even knew because we all like to talk about the bad stuff. And then they see you and they're like, oh, dude, I'm so sorry. And I remember the first time I heard it, I said, oh, hell no, that ain't going to be me. No, no, no. See, I've counseled people through rapes and they hold on to it for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I've got people that got raped when they were 15 years old and they're in their 70s and they still are saying that person triggers them, that thing triggers them. And it's not those things, it's them. They allow the brain to be triggered. You are the boss of your mind, you control it. So, what I had to do was forgive the man who raped me. Oh, I can never do that. That's your problem. And you're the one suffering because you won't do it. Not you can't, you won't. See, you can forgive the person who molested you, beat you, threw you in prison, put you up on false charges. I don't care. You can forgive them. And if you do, you're not doing it for them. I did it for me because I won't allow any triggers. And now when I think of the incident that happened, I don't curl up in my gut. I don't get any more pain anymore. Do you want to know why? Because here's why. I looked at it and said, every time it comes up, I go, oh my God, yeah, that's so cool. I now get to help people that have been raped. I'm so excited. I'm not happy it happened. It was very painful, very excruciating, very humiliating, all kinds of things to go with it. But, but I'm going to use it to help people not be stuck on their trauma for the rest of their life and keep blaming everyone about that incident. Oh, that's why I'm on drugs now. That's why I'm an alcoholic. That's why I go move back to my mom and daddy's house. Bullshit. It's because you're choosing to. You want to inside be the victim. Stop being a victim. Man up, woman up, and say, I'm the boss and I'm in charge. No one gets through life, folks, without great pressure and stress. You will never survive life without stress and pressure. If that's the life you're looking for, here's your best bet you can do. Okay. Go up to Alaska, do some sort of a deal where you can like homestead a little property somewhere and be part of like looking at the pipeline. They have people that actually patrol a certain section to make sure the pipelines are good. Get a job like that. You never see a person except once every 6 months when you hand them your little report, and then you probably won't have much stress. Oh, wait, you're going to have to live in Alaska in the freezing weather. There's always stress. I don't care if you're rich, there's even more stress. Yeah, but when you're rich, no, the problems, more money, more money, more money, more problems, more problems, more problems. Do you understand? No one gets through life without that pressure and stress. Here's the question I have for you. Do you use stress or does stress use you? Now you're thinking. So when I get stressed, what do I do? I got a lot of pressure. I've got multi-million dollar deals being done up on a daily basis in our organization that we're working on. And we chunk at them each week a little bit here, 20, $30,000, 50,000 here, 20,000 there, 30,000 there. And we keep working, we keep working. I keep finding miracles. I keep financing things. I keep buying stuff. We keep making it work. We keep being creative. And then we make more profit, find more revenue streams to bring into the nonprofit, because I don't go out there and go, can I get your money? Somebody help me. You'll hear me every once in a while talk about it because I'm eventually going to find some people that go, man, I'm going to stop throwing money at all these stupid things. No offense, but all this stuff that's out there that doesn't have any results. I got a 0% recidivism rate, folks. Zero. The whole world should be calling me, and I should be the number one prison guy in all states of all 50 states in this country. And every country should be calling me to create their program for them. I don't wait for them. I just do it myself and I fund it myself and I get creative and find more ways to bring in revenue so that we can keep pressing through and all the money goes to the nonprofit. I don't take a penny of it in a salary at all. Sure, they cover my expenses when I travel, but I don't take a salary, folks. I make $1,750 a month. That's it. I gave up the millions and the all the trappings of that. I don't care about that. What I care about is learning to teach you how to use stress and not let stress use you. That's what I have mastered. And so I turn the stress into fuel. And I love it. I love it. And now it feeds me like fire. And all of a sudden, that fuel just rages. And then all of a sudden, I become so successful. And people who thought they hurt me, I'm like, thank you. I needed that motivation. I really used your stress to take myself to another level. Now, PTSD, right? Post traumatic stress syndrome. How about PTG? That's what I want you to learn. I want you to learn this. You don't have post traumatic stress syndrome. The doctors tell you you do. You don't. You do if you choose to. That's your choice. Oh, don't tell me that. I was in a war and I had bombs blow up and I had people die. Yeah, I've been there. I've seen over, let me think. Oh, that's right. Over 100 executions up close and personal when they chop their heads off down in Mexico, hang them upside down and reach up and pull out nasty things. I can tell you stuff that'll make you puke, pass out, puke. I've seen it all. You want to talk about post traumatic stress syndrome? Watch them take a child from their groin up to their freaking throat. It's the most disgusting thing you've ever seen done. And I was there while they were literally forcing certain people to watch this. This was the most disgusting things I've ever seen in my life. How do you get that out of your head? I've got post traumatic stress syndrome forever. No, I don't. I use that stress of those horrible memories to fuel me. Now, what am I doing? This year, me and my organization freed a girl from the sex trade in Mexico. We bought her contract and got her free for life. And we made sure the person that put her in that place doesn't ever do that again. PTG, post traumatic growth. I want you to learn that. PTG, post traumatic growth. You have post traumatic growth. This is an opportunity for you to grow. So you were molested, you were raped, you were in a war, you saw your best friend die, your leg was blown off. All of these things. Man up, woman up. This is where we say, all right, I have post traumatic progress or growth. Post traumatic growth. This growth is going to allow me to overcome this. I control my head. The triggers are in my mind, and I'm going to take this bull by the horn and I'm going to overcome it. And we give them the tools to do that. And when that happens, this is the great news. That's when you have liberated yourself and you're free, folks. You're free. I now can literally, the guy who raped me, he's dead. I had nothing to do with it, by the way, but he's gone. That guy, here's the interesting thing about that whole incident days. I actually forgave him. I was able to actually walk past him about a half a dozen times. You see, people react and they allow everyone around them to own them. See, as long as he owned me, meaning I was fearful of that, or it just terrified me, or the man who beat my face and shattered it and my ribs for years, he owned me because I would always tell you, oh, you don't know I was beaten as a child. And then they all, oh, I'm so sorry. He's a victim of a horrible incident. Let's give him a break. No, that was the worst thing they did, because then what did I do? I figured it out. Oh wait, I just got to keep bringing up my post traumatic stress syndrome, and I got a free ticket out of everything. They actually nowadays have, not anymore, thank God for our new president, but under the last regime, do you know they actually had cards you got out in the military? There's actually cards in basic training that you would be able to pull out if you needed a timeout. Hang on a second. Listen to that. You and me are paying to train a guy and a girl to go into the most pressure cooker situation you can, called war. And in that war, they don't allow the enemy, when you pull up this little card, the enemy doesn't say, oh, hey, that guy right there, the card, he needs 30 minutes, guys, to get his emotions together. So nobody shoot him. Let's go kill everybody else. Hell no, people. They put a bullet in his head and kill him. End of story. Okay? There's no timeout card. If they can't cut it in the boot camp, we don't want them in the military because they're going to fold under fire. And we got a bunch of those already. So we don't need that. And that's the mentality we've created in our country. We've created a mentality of, well, it's not my fault. I don't want to be lumped in with everybody. I'm not just a criminal. Whatever your problem is, it's your problem, not everyone else's. It's your trigger, not everyone else's. So do you want to be liberated from all the drama and be free? I can walk up to my ex-wife and my first ex-wife. I can say, I love you guys. I always will. I'm not in love with you, but I love you and I'll always love you. And I wish you the best. And I actually would help any of the people in my past, including the man that shattered my face, the man that raped me, all these people that did me harm and evil. Not only did I forgive them, I became peaceful with all of it so that I owned myself again, and no person owned me. See, when you're a victim, the person who victimized you owns you. So stop being a victim because you're owned. And I'm no one's bitch. This bishop, yeah, he's a tough cat. He's from the street and he uses some rough language. I get it. But you know what? That's what's wrong with us nowadays. We've made such mamsy pamsies in people that we're willing to hold up a card and say, I got a little stress. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of stress, folks. And if you're in the military, you're probably going to be the one that gets killed because you're the one going, I need a break, while the bullets are flying everywhere. And they're out there. And so, how do you get that? Well, the military now, they got great programs and they're training people to get rid of those people. The ones that say, I just want to be in the military, but I really can't be in the military because I mean, I got too much crap and I can't, I'll fold. If you need to say, break, please, during, the workouts and stuff and the training, you don't deserve you. It's time to be kicked out. That's our problem as citizens of this beautiful earth. is that we start saying, I'm a victim. Hey, hold on. Hello. I'm a victim. Folks, I've been a victim of some of the most horrific things you could imagine. And I'm at peace with it. And I love those people. I wish them the best. And I would help anyone in my past. Anyone. There is not a person that I would not help from my past. I'd even help an Eagles fan. Now we started the jokes. All right, I went a little long tonight, an extra 10 minutes, but listen, this trigger thing is going to liberate you if you can get your hands wrapped around your head and stop the triggers. When they trigger you, why do they trigger you? We got to figure out who that is and what it is that triggers you. And then we got to put that forgiveness in place first, let it breathe and let it out. And then we got to address it and own it and be able to talk about it with someone over and over and over and over until it's, oh man, I got this. Let's go. You guys want me to sign me up? I'll go talk to people about getting raped as a guy. I have no problem talking about it. Why? I own it. It doesn't own me. I'm not a victim. I'm a victorious person. I love you guys. God bless. Go be a victor. Go get liberate your mind. Go get liberated.